Thebigspur.com, right?
Yeah, thebigspur.com.
All right, and bclicklack, which is still the best Twitter handle ever.
All right, thank you.
Most
But
definitely.
I don't know. I guess it just depends. Depends on how. Yeah, this isn't. If we take me seriously, no, we never take me seriously.
Yeah, we're not. No, this is not a serious podcast.
Very good. You know the difference between me and me.
I didn't know there was another you till this week.
Yeah.
It's like looking behind the curtain at Oz. It's very strange.
You. Oh my gosh. Speaking of that, I already have like a
You
photo.
have a curtain story?
I have. Well, no, I have a photo of me. I just put my little head on the Oz guy whenever, and the rest of them were like peeking around. He's like, pay no attention to the. So I already have that like stored in my phone for emergencies.
Yeah, just in case. All right. Jason, do you want me to plug Bourbon Brain Trust?
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to.
I sent you the email. I sent you the email.
I saw it. It's been a
to
busy
guest
week,
post.
man. It's been a crazy week. Bourbon Brain Trust. All right, I'm writing. I'm actually doing some modicum of like preparation. That's probably not true. Whatever. I figure we'll talk to Notre Dame story first. Then I guess recruiting, and then the fundraiser, and we'll close out with the NFL Coaches Odds and SC Network. So I should probably write that down for myself.
I feel like I need my shirt on here. Check it. Dang hot mess. Hey. Oh
See,
no!
the beard,
I know.
Beard's going everywhere.
Beard
Gross.
didn't travel then. We are broadcasting live, by the way. Really happy about that.
Yeah.
Are we on YouTube right now?
We're on YouTube. There are links. Hold on. If you have your chat window up, I can send you links to things.
Where's that?
Oh, all right.
Oh.
There's YouTube. I guess this is the event page. This is how we talk about Chad when we're on the podcast. We just make fun of him in the chat for pretty much everything he does. Nice. All right, VY fundraiser.
Hey, everybody smile. We're screenshotting that. I'm going to tweet it.
Hello. Creepy smile.
Super cute. Super cute. Thanks.
Brains.
Jason, what's your Twitter handle?
At Jason is a Smith.
He wrote the most read piece ever on the site.
I'm right. I'm doing a part 2 to that too. Eventually.
Whatever. You just want to ride your own coattails.
I do. None of my other stuff is getting read. Like, no one reads anything else that I write except the Margaret piece. That's like everything else I've written is at like a max of like 40 views or something. Like, not doing so well right now. So I gotta have something to boost up my reads.
I got 600 on the Notre Dame post in 20 minutes, and I was like, I give up. I'm just having fun now, and people are looking at it. That's ridiculous. Put time into something no one ever reads. All right, we're gonna get started. I don't know what time it is, so I'm not gonna tell Andrew when to start. All right, welcome back to Dude Podcast Weekly Hangover, second to last one coming at you before football starts. We're brought to you as always by DudeYouCrazy.net. You can find everything on the site there. Find the podcast at iTunes, Stitcher. Leave us 5-star reviews. You leave a 5-star review, I will read it on the air no matter what it is. If you don't want to leave a review, but you still want to make fun of us, you can email us at dudeyouPodcast@gmail.com. As always, we're brought to you by and in partnership with our friends over at Georgia Vault. They're a one-stop shop for all your Georgia highlights, exclusive interviews, and more. Lots of history on there. You can find the link on iTunes, or you can go to the button on the left side of our homepage. I am, of course, Daniel Palmer at dpalm66 on Twitter. And I'm joined today by neither Chad nor Andrew, so it's going to be a great pod. First up, we got Jason Smith out of Nashville. Jason is a Smith on Twitter. I guess he writes for us and this other site, bourbonbraintrust.com, Read them if you feel like it. I wouldn't advise it. Jason, what's going on, man?
Dude, it's like Christmas morning today. I'm like 4 cups of coffee in, and there have been like 5 incredible soccer games already on NBC. The Barclays Premier League is back, and it's awesome. And if you don't like it, you're missing out. I'm just saying.
For what it's worth, Brandon and I were talking before you got here, and I was like, if Jason can pull himself away from soccer, we'll get a pretty good podcast.
That's absolutely why I was late to the podcast. Absolutely, not even gonna lie.
Hey, you know what? I'm glad you could be honest like that. Also joining us today, special guest. Brandy from thebigspur.com. You can find her on Twitter at bclickclack. Brandy, how you doing today?
Hey, doing well. So excited to be here on the Hangover, hanging over.
I really appreciate that you went with you got the email about the beard. You stepped up. You heard what was happening today. Good. When we have a theme, I like the guests to participate.
Beard gang.
All right, so we've got stories. The biggest one being what happened Friday. So a brief timeline. So I'd gotten a couple texts from my friend who is a booster at Notre Dame, and I didn't quite know what to make of them. Then I saw some rumors happen on Twitter, and Andrew, Jason, and Chad and I were texting, joking about something else completely. And I was just like, hey, can I put this on the site? And it was kind of me and Andrew back and forth thinking, like, is this even, like, a legitimate? But we ran with it because it was a funny story no matter what. The story is that 4 Notre Dame players will be removed from the team due to academic investigation going on inside the school. It looks like they may, at the top end, be vacating the 2012 undefeated season, or undefeated until the Bama game. Jason, do you have any? Well, there's lots of details. We're going to get into them. Jason, what's your first thought when you saw this story?
I could not think because it was so much fun. I just had to sit down and laugh for about 20 minutes. It was also a lot of fun, too, because we have become the site that, like, kind of, sort of breaks news. Like, we don't really break news.
No.
We haven't been wrong about anything that we've put up yet. Like, these random rumors that we catch.
He's not talking about my NFL picks. He's talking about other things.
Yeah,
I'm wrong about that a lot.
Absolutely. What I mean is, we're not wrong about random rumors that turn out to be way more true than we thought they were. So, like, Andrew puts up this thing about Trey Matthews that might kind of sort of be the reason he got dismissed, and then later the AJC manages to confirm that, yeah, that's exactly why Trey Matthews got dismissed. And then you pretty much take down the entire Notre Dame football season from last year. I mean, I don't know what else to say about our site other than you should read everything we write, because sometimes we should just start buying lottery tickets now, because it seems like our luck is at the peak where it will never be this high again. We
can't get luckier. Brandy, when you heard the story that the shining model of virtue of the NCAA football, the Golden Domers, had fallen prey to the biggest weakness of just lying and cheating, what did you think?
Well, instantly I thought the eggplant and the cactus emojis. I told you.
I was really, that's what we call responding on your toes. For those who don't speak emoji like me, could you translate some of that for us?
Oh, it's not suitable for work. It's NSFW.
Fair enough.
It is, but, I mean, because I saw that they were doing things in exchange for, or the teacher was, for favors. So instantly, my head goes straight in the gutter.
No, I think that's exactly what happened here. Is that this is what happened, and at some point something went wrong, with these things typically had to do, and they all got caught in the dumbest way possible. My question is, if she's doing 4 guys' homework, they all have the same major? Like, is there a lot of control-V here? Like, a lot of copy-paste? Like, I don't see... I barely had time to do my homework in college. Granted, I didn't... I was playing football and other things, but, like, doing 4 people's homework, they all had to be, like, in the same classes, right? Like, this is ridiculous.
I mean, what kind of... I just want to know about the favors.
I want to know about this lady's work ethic. Like, if she needs, she can come intern here, not for any sort of favors, just because I think if she's doing 5 times the homework,
yeah,
that's carrying a load I couldn't imagine. Jason, you're still in school because you can't escape. What could you do someone else's schoolwork?
Here's the thing. I'm TAing this semester, so
so you see lots of cheating.
Well, no, I will be. So I haven't started yet. Like, it's my first time grading, and I'm sitting here kind of thinking, I can't even imagine, like, you're caught now. This was happening for a while, though. Like, the TAs that had to be looking at this stuff. I mean, this girl is a mastermind at teaching. Alabama needs to hire her now. Like, go get her and, like, let her be in charge of your academic stuff. Because, like, this girl managed to not only forge papers for 4 people, she managed to do it so differently that it took them a year to catch her. Like, that is pristine work from a TA who is going to be trying to be very good at catching cheaters.
Is there a joke in here somewhere about TA with the players, TNA? I mean,
there's definitely a joke there.
There are jokes in, like, literally every direction you turn. You throw a rock, you're hitting a sex joke everywhere in the store.
No, but you're right. And I think the funny thing is that this is going to turn into a Notre Dame football story. Really, it's just a college story. Like, Jason, I'm going to break it to you now. You're going to see a lot of cheating this fall. Like, college and high school kids cheat. That's what they do. And the fact that, like, the investigation sweeps past athletics to the normal student body is going to get lost in the shuffle. No one cares about Joey from nowhere in Indiana who goes to Notre Dame who happened to cheat on his calculus test. They care about the DB who won't be playing and whose games were forfeited. That's the other thing. When you wipe away games, what happens? Because they don't give back the TV money. They don't give back the gate money. They don't give back the merchandise sales. They don't give back the better TV deal. What did you really lose?
Ooh, what a good point you make.
I think a web guy is the only guy that gets punished because he has to go back in the Notre Dame official website and take off the wins. Like, that's literally the only thing that happens.
But do they even take them off? Like, I've never checked. Do they just throw asterisks on there and hope you scroll down? Like, because the games happened. We have them on video. It's the year 2014. We're recording ourselves in 3 different states talking about it. Like,
no idea.
All right.
I guess here's where it's Notre Dame, so it really doesn't matter. But I guess the only place that I could think of it mattering would be whenever you get in a fight about who's leading a rivalry. Like, now USC can be like, well, the record is really blah 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 versus blah 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 with Notre Dame because Notre Dame had to vacate this win that they had over us a year ago. That's the only thing I can ever think of that it would actually.
I mean, the money still goes to Notre Dame, right? Like, so. Who cares? Why wouldn't you mortgage your future against a couple years of amazing profitability?
Same.
I don't know. Also staying in college football, Dana Holgorsen this week, who, for the record, is still my favorite coach in college football. The man gets caught drunk on camera. The man coaches West Virginia, so he doesn't lose his job. He pretty much becomes coach for life. And he came out today speaking to a reporter from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, came out this week, you lie in recruiting a bunch. That's just kind of part of it. You become a salesman. People use this to their advantage in recruiting. I think the next step is to have some sort of situation where everyone is openly doing the same thing. There are a lot of questions, but we will figure it out. It's about what reality is. What are we actually doing? What are we actually feeding these guys? Brandy, we all know people get lied to in recruiting, but we just don't talk about it, right? Like, is he breaking like a rule? I feel weird about the whole thing.
Well, it's sort of like dating. I mean, everybody kind of lies in the beginning, but don't talk about it.
I'm so glad my girlfriend doesn't watch these things. Because Brandy's 100% right.
That is a great analogy.
you slowly over time hide less and less of your real self, but you never truly give 100% of yourself. That's
right. And we don't
depressing.
go out and say, hey, we're all lying to each other. It's just a given. But you see a lot of guys, recruits in their interviews talking about, well, this coach, he seems, like he's telling the truth, and he seems like what he says is real. So that seems to be a big deal. So I mean, it's like the recruits already know, but we don't need the coaches out there saying, that's like talking about Santa or something. We don't. It's like, stop.
You want to hear coach lies? When I was on my recruiting trip to Columbia University, where I ended up playing football, Bob Shoop looked me in the eye and said, "You could be an NFL defensive tackle." It took everything I had in my body not to laugh in his face. I was like, "Look, buddy, like I'm at the recruiting trip at Columbia. This is not the NFL stopover." Jason, did you have any problem with this? Like, because I think that especially at Georgia now, with some of the allegations that have kind of come out in the past against Pruitt, do we think that this is a problem? Do you think is Dana Holgorsen just the most honest guy in the room, or the dumbest guy in the room, or what's going on?
Yes. Like, you tee that up perfectly. Of course he's the most honest and the dumbest guy in the room. He also has the best hair in the room, which means he has no hair, or he has strategic hair is what I'd rather say.
Strategic hair, that's
nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that I've been actually reading a bunch of like college football history these days because I'm in school and I'm a total nerd.
Yes.
But like, there's never been a time where this has been anything less than a total meat market. Like, if you try to look back to some golden age where like everybody was all about education, like even the judge in the O'Bannon case was like, that's crap. Like, it's never existed. And so being honest is good, because being honest either is going to let us be more, let's stop lying to ourselves about what we're doing, or if we're actually honest with ourselves and we want to change it, we might actually be able to start changing it a little bit. But like, I'll be very curious when the Power Five, since the Power Five have autonomy now, if they, I mean, I don't think they'll change it, but I'd be very curious to see if they try to let it be less Wild Wild West for a while, just to earn more trust. But I see you shaking your head, Palmer, so I imagine you're saying there's no way in hell that's going to happen.
You're giving the Power Five a lot of credit.
Yeah.
They're called the Power Five. They've not named themselves the Power Five. Like, it's not the most humble or unassuming stance to take.
I like to think that they would do it, though, to kind of like give a big FU to the NCAA. Be like, look, we can do this so much better than you can.
You're asking me to trust conferences more than I trust the NCAA, and while one is proven to be the most corrupt institution in sport, with apologies to FIFA, the others have all been complicit with the most corrupt institution in sport. So,
at least I'm not asking you to trust bowl commissioners.
Not yet. We'll get there again. We'll get there this winter. All right, so now to the headline that confused me the most this week, and I'm not the smartest guy, but I read Vince Young's be a fundraiser for Texas, and I thought that he had just really hit rock bottom when just openly holding like Vince's wishes, like a telethon to help Vince Young go to TGI Fridays every week. But no, I read more into it. It looks like Texas hired him as one of those like no-show. I guess it's a show job, but it's a job where he's basically an ambassador asking for money for the school. Jason, does Texas need money?
They need wins, is what they need, and I guess money equals wins, in the way that money equals speech in politics. So I don't know. I can't imagine Vince Young hurting you, because.
Oh, really?
Well, the reason I say that, let me tell you exactly why I mean that. If literally the only people on earth that would give Vince Young money are Texas alums, and Texas alums are in fact the only people on earth who think it's a good idea to give Vince Young money. So I think the guy might actually do well, because he can just talk about, hey, everybody be like, well, hey, didn't you go broke? And he'd be like, no, let's talk about the national championship. They'd be like, well, hey, your finances are bad. Let's talk about the national championship.
So he probably needs money? Did he go broke?
Oh, he went
he went super broke.
I'm glad Brandon brought it up. There's very sad articles on the internet. They are a little funny, but very sad, of Vince Young blowing upwards of $6,000 a night at TGI Fridays.
Stop it! Stop.
The best nugget of that story, Brandy, I'm going to spoil it for you now.
Yeah.
Is like, it's not a featured part of the story, but if you read it closely, Lindale White used to go with them. Vince would drop 6K on everyone, but Lindale would come in with his own bottle of Patron. He'd walk in with his own bottle and drink at the table while they enjoyed their TGI Fridays.
TGI Fridays once again. Patron once again.
This is my NFL team. This is the legacy of my NFL team, is bankrupting TGI Fridays.
I haven't been there in a while, but I do remember they had good fajitas.
They have endless appetizers now, and I still think we should have a Dude You're Crazy outing to test the veracity of the endlessness. One of
the best things you can do on the internet right now, though, there's a radio show in Nashville called 3HL that has Clay Travis and a couple other people on it. You go and Google 3HL and then Google Vince Young or Pac-Man Jones. They have several segments. They do this almost once a year, where they'll talk about Vince Young or Pac-Man Jones and ask people to call in and tell stories. And you'll get limo drive. Oh, it's incredible. It's as good as you think it is. You'll get limo drivers.
I had no idea where that was going. I was like, I don't hope this doesn't go somewhere like uncomfortable. And then it went to the most comfortable place in the world.
You'll get
eyewitness accounts.
Limo drivers, TGI Friday waitresses, like the best stories about Vince Young and Pac-Man Jones.
That's a good idea. Why does everybody not like Outkick the coverage? I like some of their stuff, especially their black dude tweets from like big events. That's like my favorite thing on the internet.
For what it's worth, Nashville's on my short list of cities to move to this spring. I moved to Atlanta or Nashville, and you just sold me on Nashville pretty hard there. Like,
I'm saying,
having those segments in my life, pretty big sell. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Wait, where are you?
I'm in Philly. I live in the frozen tundra of Philadelphia because I make bad life decisions, but we're rectifying those soon enough. We reach halftime. We do hypotheticals. Brandy, I'm going to spring this on you, and I'm going to spare me and Jason for a week.
Okay.
You don't know Jason that well, so we're going to leave him out of this. But I was watching a lot of Always Sunny in my preparation to move to Philadelphia. By the way, thanks for the accidental segue. Beautifully done. And it seems that the group of guys, the three of them, they consider themselves three things: the brains, the brawn, and the wild card. Mac, Charlie, and Dennis. I need you to put the Dude You Crazy guys, minus Jason, of course.
Okay.
I need you to tell me who the brains is, who the brawn is, and who the wild card is. I'll judge you afterwards, trust me. But just I want to hear knee-jerk reactions.
So I feel like Chad would probably be Charlie, right?
If you think I didn't think of this idea just so we can have you call Chad Charlie, you're insane. You're insane. Oh yes, I agree. Milk steaks and just holding knives for no reason. I think that Chad Floyd is Charlie Kelly.
Andrew's got to be the Danny DeVito.
I think it leaves me as Mac or Dennis, and I feel pretty good about that.
Okay.
I'll take either one, really. They're both, well, one's dumber than the other one. I don't care. I'll take them both.
You talk fast like Mac, so you can be him. Charlie's weird, though. Too weird. I mean, they're all weird, but Mac's always got the good ideas.
Wow, I think you're watching a different show if you think Mac has the good ideas.
Doesn't he? Well, Charlie's got the best ideas.
Charlie.
But it's never going to end well.
Who cut the brakes? Wild card and dump out of the car. That is essentially Chad Floyd's entire purpose. And I'm really excited for him to listen to this. All right, let's go to the last two topics we got for today. My favorite day of the year is when Bovada releases the head coach's fired odds. We're going to talk about the top four. Coming in fourth, Doug Marrone of the Bills. He's at 8-1 odds, which I think is pretty good numbers. The reasons I think he's not going to get fired, have you guys seen these Sammy Watkins videos that are leaking onto the internet of, like, the grainy 9-second he ruined somebody's career videos? Randy, have you seen
this?
Oh, my goodness.
They're exceptional.
They had a joint practice with the Steelers, and it was Sammy Watkins versus some undrafted rookie who's now, I assume, unemployed. Like, it was really, really bad.
Because why? What did he do?
He put a double move on him and put the kid on his back, and it was one-on-one drills. Everyone saw it. It was really bad. My bottom line is I think that Marrone can at least bank on like goodwill for 2 years. Like Sammy Watkins and their quarterback, maybe that's a good connection. We give it a shot for a year or two. Jason, is Marrone going to get fired first?
I'm really surprised he's that high on the list, honestly. Like, when I think of teams headed in the wrong direction, the Bills are not really one that I think of. I think the Bills had a lot of bad luck with the quarterback. You know, like if the Bills had a consistent quarterback, in much the same way that the Titans have that extreme just crap luck. I'm just saying crap luck. I'm not saying they would be better. I'm just saying they have terrible luck. So what I mean is that I think Marrone is doing a decent job at keeping that ship afloat and actually turning it in the right direction. Okay. And so I mean, I'll be curious to see who else is above him, and then I'm sure I could think of a guy that should be number 4 instead of Marrone.
Okay, so scenario: Bon Jovi buys a team mid-season and wants to clean house.
John Bon.
Hold on. John Bon Jovi is not only Bill Belichick's best friend, but he wants to buy the Bills. I smell inside job. I'm not saying he would be sent as an agent to destroy the Bills, but Isaiah Thomas was a Piston, and he destroyed the Knicks. That's all I'm saying. He destroyed them from the inside out. It's always looked like a plan to me.
Would Bon Jovi then be living on a prayer?
Ooh.
I'm really disappointed you made that joke. I thought without Chad, I could talk about Bon Jovi and not get that joke. Thanks for letting me down. That's a real big move by you.
Somebody had to do it. It wasn't going to be me.
It's contractually
it wasn't going to be you. Contractually obligated. We have contracts? My God.
Don't even start about contracts.
Number 3, Joe Philbin, the Dolphins. I think if you survive the bully gate from last year, you don't get fired the next year, right? Randy?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know anything about business.
Fair enough. All right, fine.
Can you ask me this in emojis and I can probably answer?
See, I don't speak emojis. My translation is weak at best. I go to altavista.com, plug it in, try to figure it out. That got me through Spanish for like 4 years in college.
Altavista, that's as old as John Bon Jovi.
Oh, and I got called old again on the podcast. That's great. Number 2, Dennis Allen. I think number 2 spot's just reserved for the Raiders coach.
Yeah.
I think he's just insert Raiders coach here. Number 1, which warms my heart to no end, Jason Garrett is the first rumored coach off the board at 2-1 odds. If only Jerry Jones would hold on to him and hold on to himself as GM. Before we go to the last topic, Brandy,
I've seen Gary Jones holding on to stuff lately. Ooh.
That is true. Man, that's so much better than my Bon Jovi joke. Oh, walk off.
All right,
Drop the mic.
I am officially petitioning Brandy to officially replace Jason from here on out. That's well done by you. That's great hustle. You can't coach that. Brandy, I got reminded by you on Twitter today or yesterday that I don't like you again this weekend, not just because you're a South Carolina fan.
Yeah.
But because you got your boy Clowney coming to Atlanta.
Clowney coming to Atlanta. Hashtag Clowney.
Look. I don't think it's going to be as dominant as you think it's going to be. I want you prepared for a letdown against the stoutness of Jake Matthews. I just want you to be ready. He's not going to perform. Your boy Clowney's going to get stoned. There's no numbers out of him. It's going to be a slow day. Falcons looking great. Great.
Ooh, I have an emoji for that. It's the Moyai statue. He only had one big play last week. So I mean, he's probably going to be gassed. He probably doesn't love football. That's why he's not going to do well.
You're using the B Rabbit 8 Mile defense on me. I like that. Where you just make all the insults about yourself. That's good. Let's get in front of it.
Clowney's still gassed. ... My column.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, before we get out of here, the SEC Network launched this week, and I have my own personal experience. Philadelphia got the channel late. I was going to bed last night. I just told Brandy. I was flipping through channels. Georgia Auburn 2007 was on at 11 o'clock at night, so I poured a healthy glass of vodka and sat down until 1 in the morning watching Georgia win again.
Go Dogs!
We're going to use that soundbite. Every time you talk South Carolina, we're going to chop that out. And that may be the new header for the show.
Oh, yes.
Brandy yelling, Go Dogs. Thank you. Oh, that was amazing. Jason, is this network going to have a detrimental effect on your attempts at being a student? Because it's going to ruin my life.
Dude, I'm already sitting here going, I don't even know if I can do school with soccer on TV, and soccer's on TV right now. That's why I'm looking up this way. I don't even know if I can do that. I'm about to get soccer come back. I have more soccer because I somehow convinced my wife to let me upgrade to the better sports package where I can get all the games. I have football coming back, and then not only that, I have all these Georgia games to catch up with on my DVR. I have no life, and I'm just gonna fail out of school probably. Just be ready for me to be destitute and not in school anymore.
How long before an Alabama fan sues the SEC network for ruining their marriage or some kind of something like that?
They're definitely going to sue them over being biased.
Yeah.
So,
when I say biased, I mean biased with a T, not with an ED.
True.
As soon as Tim Tebow said, well, we have blah, 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 when he meant Florida, the game was over. Everybody was crazy.
I think the fact that Tim Tebow's going to be talking and not throwing footballs is just a step in the direction for everyone. Brandy, is this going to have a detrimental effect on your life like it is for me and Jason?
No, not really.
See, that's called self-control. I applaud that.
I guess. My attention span wavers, so.
That's the truest, aside from you yelling "Go Dogs," that's the truest thing you've said on the podcast. Your attention span is wavered. Thanks for everyone who came by and hung out with us today.
Blessed. Ooh.
Blessed.
Does it go under the beard?
Yeah.
Thanks, Brandy and Jason, for the first and maybe not the last Beard Gang podcast. Brandy's beard puts us all to shame. Check us out at jujucrazy.net. Follow Brandy at @BClickClack on Twitter. Follow Jason at Jason is a Smith. I'm at DPalm66, and we'll see you guys next week for the last hangover of the year.
No.